It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Well, hello, and welcome back to Trading Stocks Made Easy. Hey, listen, I got one of my favorite guests back in the studio. Today's episode is called Practice Makes Perfect. And here's a pattern that most people experience when they come into the Wealthy Investor Program. When you first learn about covered calls and volatility trading, you try to go crazy in your account. And most people need at least 1 year to calm down, and then the real profits and discipline begins. Well, my guest today has been on the show before, and I want to say welcome to Victor Rogers. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And we couldn't remember exactly before we started taping what episode you were on.
Yeah.
But this is your second guest spot, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you're becoming a regular at this point.
Yeah, I like to.
All right. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to have you back for Practice Makes Perfect is I wanted to track your journey as a trader, as an investor, and then you did something very, very smart to help, because what a lot of people don't realize is they think they can put, $5,000 in a trading account and suddenly become rich.
Yeah.
Well, you can become rich over time, but really the key is your contributions, right? Are you contributing to that? So you actually started a business, which we're going to get into later, which feeds your brokerage account, which is absolutely really smart. So thanks for coming back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's go back to the beginning of your journey.
Okay.
And I want to remind people how you initially found out about the Wealthy Investor Program.
One of my friends, Rosa White in New York, she works for BT or whatever in the industry or whatnot. We were actually thinking about going into some real estate together. And she was like, we were talking for like 6 months about it. We started really fine-tuning our research down to New Orleans.
Because you're both from New Orleans.
I'm from Louisiana, but she went to school in Louisiana.
Right.
And so, but I met her in Louisiana. And so we was like, okay, let's do it. And she's like, hold off for a second. I think I might have something.
Okay.
So she went to the class and she loved it. And so she told me about it. And she knows me. Whenever she gives me anything of worth, I'm going to be on it. So she told me about it. I researched you. I listened to every podcast, every video you had. I did it all. Then I went to the subscription-based.
TradeSchool.com.
Yeah, TradeSchool. Yeah, there we go.
Right.
TradeSchool.com. And I looked at every video you had in there, every piece of content you had in there, and I was sold. And so that's kind of how I started originally. And then she invited me to the one here. For the live class
in Los Angeles.
Right?
Yeah, because I do live classes in Los Angeles and New York because those are the two cities I live in.
Yes.
Okay, so when we met in person, first of all, you were training for the NFL.
Yes.
And you were just so excited to meet me. I was excited to meet you primarily because of your build. And when I look at you, I go, man, I'm supposed to be in the gym at least 3 times. And you go, don't worry about it. So I feel bad and you feel good. So and you look great, by the way.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Man.
So we met, you sat in on the class, and some connections began to kind of surface for you.
Yes.
You really started to understand the stock market and the lingo.
Yes.
Okay. Now here's where the party begins, because most people in their first year, they go crazy trying to do all kinds of trades. The same thing happened to you.
Yes.
Okay. I talk a lot about trading with discipline, right? Because we want to get the same financial results. We want to be able, if we're at $15,000 a month, we want to keep making $15,000 a month. Where do you feel in that first year you just went off the road?
I know for a fact it was the volatility trading with the leaps. I just really veered off really bad. I got a good taste of it.
Okay.
The first time, right? And so,
and what does that mean? You placed a trade and you made some money?
I placed a trade and made a lot of money, and I was super excited, and my wife was as well. And so she was like, "Oh yeah, let's go right on in, right?" And so don't tell me that. So I took it upon myself to go right on in and really indulge myself into the leaps, which I don't think I was ready for at the time. because I didn't even know the hedges to it, and so nonetheless, it was the leaps. I really indulged into that, and then it bit me.
And just to slow down, so what happened? Covered call writing for you? I mean, you were making money every time you were selling a covered call, and did you feel that you wanted more money faster? Is that what it was?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
I felt like I wanted more money faster. I felt like I deserved more money faster for some reason, without learning the skill. And yeah, the covered calls were great, but I was trying to see past that. Didn't take the whole discipline in totality as a whole, right? And so I wasn't even buying and holding the stocks I should have been, which now I regret. Trying to get back on the tail end of all that growth you in the class have had already, and I'm just like, dang man, like what was I doing? So, yeah, for sure.
Now, I always say on this show, and also when I teach live and online, that when you're trying to be aggressive and make as much money as you can, as quickly as you can, almost always in your first year, it's because you're trading your past.
That's big.
So you didn't come from a wealthy family, right?
Not at all.
Primarily raised by a single mother like me.
Yes, exactly.
Right? And you guys had some really hard times.
Yeah, really. I mean, I grew up in Louisiana, in the rough areas in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and government cheese. Powdered milk, powdered eggs, that stuff. Yeah.
Now, I grew up in federally subsidized housing, not trying to one-up you.
Yeah,
it was a little bit better, right? Because we had a lot of free heat. That was like the big chance. Like, we don't have to pay any utilities, right?
Yeah.
But I identify with the experience. And some people, as we both know, never make it out of that experience. Okay, I'm going to tell a quick little story that I always tell live.
Okay.
And you tell me if this rings true for you. So Oprah opens this school in South Africa for supremely disadvantaged girls, the academy over there in South Africa that she started. And I mean, they're looking for people who have exceptional character, who they think if they can groom them, feed them, cultivate them, can go out and have impact on the world. Now, the very first day they started the school, they invited these girls into lunch. They gave them their uniforms. They said, you've been accepted. It's time for lunch. So they've got 200 or 300 girls all rushing towards the lunchroom at the same time. Wow. And the food is on the table. And they go through the food in like 6 minutes. And they start putting the salt and pepper in their bags because they can't believe, these people who've come from these impoverished conditions, that there's actually going to be another meal. So someone rings a bell and says, ladies,
yes,
dinner is in 3 hours. These girls who come from this impoverished set of circumstances can't imagine that there's another meal around the corner. And so their trust and belief is that there won't be any more food, therefore we have to get it all right now.
It's not enough.
That is correct. I see people doing the same thing because it's like psychologically and emotionally, they've been starving financially their whole life. And if there's a chance to get rich quickly, they think that the stock market is their vehicle. Usually people who do that have had very impoverished backgrounds.
Yes.
So they are no different from those girls who are trying to eat all of that food in one sitting because they can't believe there'll be dinner on the table.
Yes.
And one of the things we learn as traders is, hey, listen, if you made money this week, there's more money to be made next week, the week after that, the month after that, in fact, for the rest of your life. Do you identify with that story? And do you think that some of your habits came from unconscious belief that, like, I've got to get this money now before it goes away?
Most of them, and very conscious for me.
Okay.
You just feel like there's not enough. Right. And you're like, man, I don't know how these people did it, or whatever, or those people are special people. And I may just got an opportunity out of the blue, and this probably won't happen again. Next year, I may not get the same amount of money. Next year, I might not make any money. You still have those type of beliefs running through your head, running through your heart, running through your hormones. Like it's a real physical, emotional, spiritual experience, trying to elevate your money beliefs, and to cultivate that.
Back with more Victor Rogers right after this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't know which stocks to choose for trading in today's market? No problem. Just follow Tyrone Jackson's hot stock picks inside WITradeschool.com. At WITradeschool.com, you could also follow Tyrone's weekly stock market tutorials and investing advice. Plus, each week you can submit your trading and investing questions directly to our staff, and Tyrone will answer them as part of our weekly video Q&A sessions. Begin your membership right now and you'll get instant access to WITradeschool.com's video library. That means you'll get to know all of Tyrone's major and minor trading strategies, including covered call writing and volatility trading for fast, sexy profits. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. In addition to his successful podcast, Tyrone's editorial content has been featured on CBSMoneyWatch.com, NASDAQ.com, and YahooFinance.com. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
Welcome back. So somewhere in here, you have a shift.
Yes.
Now, the shift usually comes from losing a bunch of money, trying to make a lot of money quickly. Okay. Do you remember that moment in time where you said to yourself, I think I need to slow down?
Yes.
Okay. What happened to cause that?
So what happened to cause that, I made a trade on a particular election. I had placed this trade, and I thought that if this certain president would get elected, that the stock would go up, right? I would use a leap to do some leaps to do that, and not just a leap, right? And it didn't happen. Another president was elected.
Yes.
And so when that other president was elected, I lost a whole lot of money.
Was it over $5,000?
Yes.
Yes, it was over $5,000.
Yes.
Now, we were in class live not too long ago, and some new people had come into the program.
Yes.
And one guy raised his hand, and he said, how do you stop yourself from just going crazy? And someone else said, you lose $10,000. That's when you calm down. So that's usually the number. It could be $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. And then you realize, you know what? I should probably listen to Tyrone.
Yes.
Right?
That's what happened.
So you had that realization because you lost this sum of money. And then what happened?
My wife was really mad. And
that's always another thing that slows you down too.
Yeah.
Right.
And so after that beating, I just kind of had like a moment with myself, and just like, what am I doing? I know this vehicle and what I'm learning and these principles that Tyrone is teaching actually works, but I'm not following them. Why? And so kind of had a come to Jesus moment, I guess, right? And then I thought about it. And then, so what I did is I went to research like the year prior, what I missed when I first started, what was recommended to be invested, what was recommended for covered calls. And I'm looking, I'm like, wow, these stocks are here now, right? I missed all of that growth, right? And I would have made more than I thought I was trying to make at that period of time each month if I would have just did it the right way. And so once I saw that, I was like, okay, done deal. We got to figure something out, Okay. And so once we did that, we shook back, and then we just kind of slowly started getting back into the discipline.
Okay. Now, your wife is active, or she looks in on the trades, or how do you guys work that out as a team?
So she is very active.
Okay.
All right. She watches the market every day.
Okay.
Just like I do, and she tells me what trades she like to see on. Yeah, and what stocks she'd like to see us invest in. Okay, and then we talk about that, and then I'll say, and she'll say, okay, this is why. Now I'm the one that actually does all the technical analysis and things of that sort, but I do respect her opinion, and so I'll go and I'll get analysis. I'll check it out. All right, this is what Tyrone told us we should be doing right now, so we got to make sure we're doing that first and foremost. If there's something we feel like we really want to do, and then everything adds up, we do it. That's it.
Right. And you guys are really a shining example of a couple who works together.
Yes.
Because what I see a lot of is the husband, is the one who learns how to trade. Yeah. They're making, $1,000, $2,000 a week. The market dips down as it does from time to time. Yes. And then the wife is like, where's the money? It's like, well, see, the market went down. She's like, no. I want to know where the money is.
Yes.
Since you guys have this successful marriage and relationship,
yes.
You and I have had this discussion. What do you think helped you both survive the loss of that large figure, the reassessment, and what helped you keep going?
Man, I'll tell you this. My wife knows my story, right? And a good portion of that, she lived it with me. You know what I'm saying? And so especially the NFL deal and trying to figure that whole deal out and, getting back and forth from that. And so she lived that with me, right? 7 days a week, watching me grind and doing things of that sort and getting there. She knows what's inside of me, and she trusts that. And so what helped us get through that was that part of it, like, man, Vic, I know you did this, but, I know we can do more. I know this works. And so it even helped her grow. And so we just communicated a lot. It was hard. Don't get it wrong. It was really hard. We had to make more contributions, you know what I'm saying? And so our lifestyle we were living at that time had to kind of backtrack a little bit and give more to the account to give it more life so we can actually do the right thing with it,
To build it back up.
To build it back up.
Right. So you had to make more contributions to the brokerage account to build it back up.
Yes.
That is called commitment. Why are you so committed to being a successful stock market trader and investor?
Because I know for a fact that the stock market makes more millionaires and billionaires than any other profession or anything else. And now I know for a fact that your system is for real. It is for real. It's life-changing. And so now that I see that, now that I know those things, it's like, okay, it's a different mindset. I'm buckling down. I know I'm going to live for the next 60 years at least, So I just should relax, and just, take it one day at a time.
Now, when we come back, you actually did something in an effort to grow the size of your account. You started a business, which is off to some incredible things.
Yeah.
When we come back after this break, we're going to talk about your business called the DB Lab. We're going to talk about the DB Lab with Victor Rogers right after you take a listen to this.
You're listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Want to learn more about how to trade and invest in the stock market? Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products. That's thewealthyinvestor.net/products and order the Wealthy Investor's Guide to Stock Market Success audio series. This easy-to-follow 5-CD audio series and manual will teach you the basics of how to buy and sell stocks, how to collect quarterly dividends for life, plus hidden income generating strategies like covered call writing and volatility trading. Start creating financial freedom right now. Get the financial education you need to get ahead. Visit thewealthyinvestor.net/products.
Well, welcome back. Today's episode is Practice Makes Perfect. Now, we have on the show today one of our favorite guests, Victor Rogers, who's talking about his first year as a trader and an investor. And Victor, you know this by now. Most people go buck wild and go crazy in the first year because they can't believe they can make all this money. Then they think they're smarter than a teacher. They're going to make a lot of money. And there's always a moment where they lose a lot of money. And what's interesting is that some people, we were talking about before the commercial break, we're talking about this idea of commitment. The people who do really well in the long term are the people who can stay committed to idea, not just the stock market, but stay committed, work out the kinks, and move on.
Yes.
So now that you had that big breakdown, you and your wife committed to each other and recommitted to the stock market and started to invest money back into the account and say, we've learned some lessons.
Yes.
What do you do now that you didn't do in that first year?
Follow the discipline, go into the skill of it, really learn it, really digest what you give us in the live classes, take that home with me and really, dive deep into that and just really follow everything. I mean, collecting dividends, covered calls, using portion of that. If you got to live off of it, using portion of those covered calls to go right back into the stocks that you love, that we're dating.
Right, that we're dating. We're not here for soulmates.
That's it, baby.
We're dating these stocks. That is dating. Correct. Yes.
Just all of those things and just really just buckling down and following those,
Somewhere along the line, because you were on your way, you were NFL bound as a player. Something happened which deferred that dream.
Yes.
And rather than being angry and bitter, you realized that you had this talent for helping other players. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the position that made you NFL bound was a defensive back.
Yes.
Okay, so let's explain to the audience what is a defensive back. It's when the ball's going up to a receiver.
Yes.
There's a guy covering that receiver.
Yes.
That's the defensive back.
And that's the defensive back.
Okay. Now, your job is not to get pass interference called on you by putting your hands in the wrong place, essentially, right?
Exactly.
So you want to skillfully prevent that receiver from actually receiving the ball.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a technique to that, is that right?
There's technique to that. Lots of technique to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you realized that you could teach other people this technique.
Yes.
And get them to the NFL.
Yes.
Right. It's really interesting because I never thought in my life, right, that I would be Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor.
Yeah.
Because in school, I wasn't the greatest with math.
Yes.
But somewhere along my life, these numbers started to make sense to me, and they really do add up to millions and millions and millions of dollars, right?
Wow.
So it's funny when, I always say you never know when your talents are going to be revealed.
That's it.
Okay, so you have this talent for training guys, and you have a guy NFL bound now, right?
Yes, we'll have two guys.
Two guys NFL bound, but
Yes.
there's some other guys in the lineup.
In lineup. I'm fully loaded. Fully loaded.
You're fully loaded. That is correct.
Fully loaded.
So you started this business, and you realize if you started a business, the business could give you additional capital
Yes.
to put into your trading account,
Yes.
which would speed everything up.
Exactly.
You'd be doing something that you loved and helping other people and feeding your wealth at the same time.
At the same time.
Okay. How did you come up with this idea?
I read a book on Warren Buffett and how he got started. And after reading that book, I had an epiphany like, okay, I maybe can do this too. And then, getting to know Tyrone and hearing his stories, right? And like, okay, well, it's possible for me, So that's kind of how I came up with that idea. And then from there, I actually came to you like, I need a little business consulting. Can you help me? What do you think about this,
Right.
So, yeah.
And as long as you take me to lunch.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Cheap date.
Yeah, I'm not a hard guy. For you. For other people, it could be a lot. I don't want to get the impression that all my services are free. Okay. Tell us about the DB Lab and what it is.
So the DB Lab is it's a program or system that I've developed to take young athletes that want to play football or whatnot as like a corner or a safety and grow them through this system through all the levels of football. So through high school, we grow them. Through college, we grow them. And we grow them additionally into the NFL as well. And we do that with a lot of resources, a lot of knowledge that I have on and off the field. We make sure that everything they can possibly need as a defensive back or as an athlete for the DB Lab, we have resources to take care of them.
Yeah, but you actually train these guys.
Oh, I train them
too,
yeah.
They meet you on a Saturday morning.
Yes, they meet me on a Saturday, Sunday, and I train them and I teach them the skill of being a defensive back and the game. I teach them the headspace of that too, like what that takes to be a defensive back as well on a high level. We go through everything you can possibly imagine. Film, we do that. We go through other skill things, small things, like even a toe. If the toe is in the wrong spot and I see it, they're going to know I see it, and it's going to be trouble.
Now, you've taken the DB Lab. It's essentially almost like a television show.
Yeah.
And it can be viewed on YouTube.
Yes.
On Facebook.
Yes.
On Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, so I really want people to just check this out and check out Coach Vic. So what platform do you recommend they go to?
The platform I recommend you go to is the Instagram platform, and that's at the DB Lab. So that's at THEDB Lab. On the Instagram, you'll find me easily there.
Now, here's the other thing that's interesting. The reason that these kids, mostly high schoolers, although you have them at other ages,
yes,
you're training them to play the defensive back position because some of them could possibly go to college on scholarship.
Yes.
Right. So the parents are happy to pay for this training with you.
Yes.
Because if their kid gets a scholarship to college playing a defensive back position, well, we all know how much college costs these days.
Yeah, actually, I think right now we are in the last 3 years we're like 45-0. All of my kids that came through this program have gone to college for free.
Come on.
Yeah.
How long ago did you start?
A portion of it, yeah.
Yeah, at least a portion. That would help.
Yeah.
How long ago did you start this business? I don't remember.
Well, I started the business a while ago, but I really refined the business about 4 years ago.
Okay. Now, there's some things we can talk about and some things that we can't.
Yeah.
But this is essentially about to turn into a TV show on a major network.
On
right?
a major
we
network,
won't say,
exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and this all came from stock market trading, expanding your consciousness.
Yes.
And now you're about to be like a TV producer and all that.
Yes.
So you have very big names in the sports world connected to you who are attached to this show.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things that's really great about your story is that not only are you committed, you stay focused.
Yes.
And, I talk a lot about consciousness. You really have a winning consciousness.
Thank you, man.
Where did that come from in your life?
One thing I've learned, and I had to learn this the hard way, is that happiness is a skill, right? You have to develop happiness, and it takes work. And so with that, I practice on being happy, right? Like you mentioned, the consciousness deal, meditation, things of that sort. It's a skill and it's a habit. So that's what happiness is to me.
And that's interesting. I am a huge fan of gratitude. So when I wake up, I feel like I live in a constant state of blessing, right?
Yes.
I can just look around my, multiple homes and go, oh my God, this is like incredible to me.
Yeah.
Every day I have at least 3 things to be grateful for, right?
Wow.
And you're right, happiness really is a skill. Talk about what you've learned about a wealth building mindset. Because if this TV show goes, you're going to, or when it goes, I should say, you're going to make quite a bit of money off of it, which I guess some of it's going to head on back into your brokerage account.
Exactly, most of it.
What have you learned about the connection, the relationship between your thoughts and your money that you're actually earning?
Patience. Keep doing what you're doing. Be patient. It'll happen. Ironically, when you expand your mind about money, certain people leave out of your life and then certain people come in. And being able to receive these next wave of good people and good energy into my life. And so I've definitely learned that a lot. And that's been kind of a big staple in my life in the last few years, is meeting a few other friends that I have now that quite frankly has been a part of my life changing in this way, in a major way now, in a good way. So,
well, you're a big time TV producer. I hope you talk to me.
Oh,
and like a year from now, will you? I go off on your cell phone. It's like it's Tyrone. It's like an owl from the room. Who? I don't talk to him anymore.
No, man, I'm here, man.
How do I know you're not going to change up on me?
Hey, because I want to get to the billions. I think I'm going to need you more than you're going to need me.
Well, I tell everybody, I've been saying this a lot in my live classes. I've been saying, every superstar needs a coach.
That's it, man.
So Michael Jordan had Phil Jackson,
yes.
right? Largely because Michael Jordan is a great player, but your coach can just see things that you can't see.
Exactly.
Any words of advice for someone in our audience going, wow, it's great that guy from Baton Rouge is doing all of these great things. They still might not be a believer. If you could leave them with any words of advice, you would say what?
Trust your gut and do it. Go for it. You'll miss 100% of the shots you never take. And that's huge.
Right.
Think about that. You'll miss 100% of the shots that you never take. And so take that with you. And if you actually take heed to that, if you're listening to this right now, you're not signed up to a wealth school, you definitely need to do that, man. I mean, life-changing for real.
Right. And you started out as a trade school member.
Yes,
right,
I did.
And then you just said, let me give it a shot online, and then you progressed to the live thing.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
Congratulations on what you've created and what you're about to create, because it's going to be really huge.
Yes.
And thank you for being humble enough to come back into the studio. I'm catching you on the way up.
Oh, man. Thanks. Hey, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for actually giving me a leg up.
Truly my pleasure. Truly my pleasure.
That's awesome.
So you'll come back and see us again once your show's on the air, and we'll tell some more tales of commitment and happiness, right?
That'd be great, yeah.
Thank you, Victor Rogers. I appreciate that. I'll be back with a few parting words right after you take a listen to this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
Hey, listen, welcome back. One of the things that I hope that you've gotten from today's show is the idea of having a goal and working towards it. Now, sometimes when we set a goal or have a vision, it doesn't mean it immediately manifests. In fact, most of my students tell me they learn more when the market actually drops than they do when the market is actually rising. So although you have a vision, a financial goal for yourself, it won't always be easy, but if you keep an open mind, you'll always be learning something. I want you to be successful. I want you to have more wealth and residual income in your life. That's what's going to create financial freedom, not constantly trading time for dollars. Hey, listen, it's Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor. I thank you for being here. I'll see you on the next episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy. Until then, happy trading.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.